Now, going on to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy. His tweet about the DeSantis superPAC gets 1 million hits in one day and 3,368 likes. So if I do a little math here today, we can actually punch that out and see that ratio. Not the best, but it is 0.37%. Now, if you pull up the actual response, and again, this is a lengthy one. Let me see here. So this is from Vivek yesterday saying, quote, "It came out yesterday that the DeSantis $100 million monster PAC is taking credit with their donors for quote unquote spreading dirt and manufacturing fake attacks on me. Here's a classic case of how their game works and leaves all conservatives holding the bag by confounding the real threats we face as a country. They created this stitched together video as if it's a flip-flop from my original position that the climate agenda is a hoax. Here's the truth. The real problem in our country isn't the fact that the global temperatures are going up slightly. They are. But the toxic anti-carbon agenda we've adopted in response. Today, 8 times as many people die of cold temperatures as warm ones, and the right answer to all temperature-related deaths is greater access to fossil fuels. The climate disaster-related death rate is down 98% in the last century, and Earth is more covered with green surface area today because carbon is a plant food. The same people who rail against carbon emissions in the U.S. are fine with shifting them to China while also opposing nuclear energy in the U.S. So yes, the climate agenda is a hoax. It's a shame we have Republican swamp creatures trying to dupe our own people, which makes us less effective in fighting back against the climate cult. It's finally time to end the super PAC puppetry in the Republican Party." Unquote. So that's quite a long, and actually it's only 10 seconds long. I'll play that little clip that they matched together if it has volume here.
Climate change agenda is a hoax. Climate change is also real. I'm not denying the underlying reality that global surface temperatures are going up, and in part due to human activity. Climate change agenda.
All right. So you can't help but notice they did change the verbiage or vernacular. So during the debate, he said the agenda was the hoax, specifically. And apparently the original tweeter was Never Back Down 24. And I didn't know, they probably had to misspell it just because the Twitter handle is already taken. So it's never being spelled MVR, Back Down 24. And the profile proclaims there's supporting Ron DeSantis for president because he is the future and never back down. Text yada yada to learn more about the candidate. So looks like once again Vivek had to come out and actually fight against the perceptions that are being thrown at him. And it's interesting to see the DeSantis campaign take more of a negative more of a negative approach. Don't get me wrong, it's perhaps one of the most effective political strategies. It's working for Chris Christie. His whole platform is "I am not Trump. Trump is bad." So the Republican Party members who do not like Trump, they're going to be more, actually that's pretty much their only candidate that they're going to vote for right now in the presidential primaries, because that's what he's running on. So it does absolutely work many of the times to actually go against your political opponent and go after them. But it's interesting to see him go after that in this case. And looking at the responses, it's got 3,709 likes. So let's do the second part. It looks like responses. Oh yeah, this one says Newsweek and Krispy Kreme, come back and try again. You got something. Find something meaningful. People don't Google search. Find the truth. You're making them nervous. Here's one that says ChatGPT keeps better. Oh yeah, ChatGPT keeps getting better and he'll never be a real boy or president. That got 4 likes but 567 views. Another one says Trump will win, mark my words. Vivek's the WF, so fake. So it's interesting. Let's see here. Another one says, oh, this was more popular. I got nobody is voting for DeSantis Mafia. That got 31 likes, but 1,832 views. Another one said Vivek the Exposer. That got 42 likes and 3,903 views. So it looks like overall, I'd say a little bit more than 50% of the responses were all still supporting Vivek. And again, you do have that inherent bias where if you follow someone, you're probably more likely to agree with their statements. Another one said, this is from Joe Sats, nice try, DeSanctimonious. That got 9 likes and out of 2,126 views. So it is interesting to see that they chopped out his words. So he said the climate change is real. He said the agenda is not. Perhaps, and again, he should perhaps clarify, be more articulate. Maybe because it is true. Like if you look at the United States, if you were to cut off if we just stop making everything in the United States, shut down manufacturing completely, no one could drive, no one could do airplanes, it still wouldn't do much globally because you look at where the most emissions come from, an overwhelming majority come from China, India. Partially because you would argue India is a more developing country. They're ramping up their manufacturing capabilities. Just past, I think it was last fiscal quarter, they just announced an Apple factory there, so they're going to make more of the iPhones there. So they're ramping up their physical production, and inherently that's going to have more pollution, and they're going to create more things. You guys have more people moving up and becoming more wealthy in India, so you're going to have more people driving, more people are going to be prospering in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see, but that is a common kind of a blind spot when it comes to the debate on climate change, and you have all these people where the other countries can get away with damn near murder or everything, and then you have other people that debate, well, what's the overall trend? We only have data for this much time. So it is an ongoing, fascinating debate, which unfortunately has become a political issue. But it'll be interesting to see, I don't think this will actually hurt Vivek too much if he keeps coming out with these rebuttal videos. If anything, I think these are just going to help him increase his virality. He's becoming very proficient at social media, like doing more interviews than he can possibly count, going on a myriad of podcasts and all these media outlets. He's just covering the internet with his content. And again, as crazy as it sounds, a lot of politics is brand recognition. There are people who, and it blows my mind, they will vote for someone just because they remember their name, or because they have an R or D next to their name as well, which is ridiculous. I think you should be able to actually articulate 2 to 3 policies you agree with. But again, I know having any bar at all in politics is a tall order these days. It'll be interesting to see, but I think this will help Vivek overall long term. Thank you again for taking the time to tune in. Try and get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September. I know it's a tall order, but if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you take the time to like and comment, the feedback is also appreciated. Try to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.